Hello and welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic. Now, first off, obviously plugging our classic Sudoku app available on Steam, Android and the App Store. The details are below. I think it's a great app, to be honest. It's got some really good puzzles. It's a good interface and there are some great hints if you're interested in those. Really help you learn the more advanced techniques. And anyway, do have a go at it if you haven't already. Obviously, the normal things like subscribe to us, sponsor us on Patreon. We love all that. We're thrilled to have recently passed 50,000 subs, etc. And here we go. Today, I'm going to have a look at a Japanese sums puzzle that has been created by Cedric Godino, who sent it to us to try out. Now, Japanese sums, the rules are that where there are numbers outside the grid in a row or column, they represent the sums of numbers in that order. So here in column 1, we have an 8, 1, 8. This is a 7 by 7 grid and it uses the numbers 1 to 7. That's quite an important thing to know. So at the bottom, there'll be 1, 2, or 3 numbers adding up to 8. Then some space, a space or some spaces in between that we can color black. Then some numbers adding up to 1. I think we can guess what that combination is. And then some numbers adding up to 8. Anyway, the numbers always have to be separated by 1 or more spaces where they appear. There's 3 rows in this puzzle for which no numbers are given. We're just going to have to work out what they are. And a very important rule that each row and column cannot contain more than 1 of the digits from 1 to 7. So you can only have, for instance, 1, 1 in the column. So I'm going to get on with solving it. And in fact, I'm going to start with that exact point. This first column, 8, 1, and 8, it's got to be 2 digits. Then there's got to be a black cell there, then a 1 and a black cell following it, and then 2 digits. Given that 8 is our maximum number, it obviously can't be less than 2 digits to make 8. So that's very straightforward. So also this row across begins with a 1, so we know that it's immediately followed by a black cell. Now the next group in that row adds up to 17. That could be 7, 6, 5 would be 18. Okay, so we don't know whether that's 3 digits or 4 digits. It's at least 3 digits long. What we can do is color the central cell. Let's make it blue when we know that there's going to be a number in it. There's got to be a digit in that central cell. The same is certainly true for the other 2 digits in this column. They have to, in fact, be a 2, 6 and a 3, 5 in some combination. Now, down at the bottom here, we have 3, 7, 5, but that could be 2, 1 followed by a 7 and a 5. It's really not clear how that's going to pan out. Could begin with a 3. We just don't know. Now, 22, and it begins with a digit. 22 has to be at least 4 digits. The largest we could have is 7 plus 6 plus 5 is 18. We need at least 1 more digit than that. So those first 4 are all numbers. And this cell is now very interesting because of this 2. 2 can only be made up by 1 digit, which is clearly a 2. And that clearly has to be in this cell, which is a digit. There's obviously not space for it to be in a different group. So I'm going to put in a number 2 there. We can black off some of these cells around it, but we don't know whether it's a 1 and 3 or a 4 above it. We don't know where that goes. So at least we've got something done. Now, 22 with a 2 in it. The other numbers could be 7, 6, 5. Yeah, that would be a total of 20. It's now got to be 5 digits long at least, so we can put that in as well. Now, where else can we find something to go on? Now, this is quite interesting. These two blue digits that we have here, 7, 9, and 5 in this column. Well, we need 3 separated groups of blue digits, so these two can't clearly be together because they would have to be part of the 9. There's no room to put a 5 beneath them, so we can black in that cell at least. The 9 has to be at least 2 cells long, and the 7 has to be 1 cell long, and that number must be a 7. 5 could be made up of 2, 3, and the 9, 5, 4, so we can't make further progress there. Quite interesting in the top row. Now we've put a 7 in it. This can't be a 7 by the Sudoku rules, so we must have at least 2 digits going on there. Could be 3. 1, 2, 4. No, 19 has to be at least 4 digits long. 7, 6, 5 add up to 18. So they're all digits. That one is not. Okay, so now in this column, the central column, 3, 2, and 8, beginning with a digit. Now, in theory, 3 could always be made up of either a 3 or a 2 and a 1. But in a column with a separate 2, which must be made up of 2, that has to be a 3 on its own. So then it's going to be followed by a black cell. One of these will be 2. This blue cell will be part of an 8. We don't know quite which way round that's going to work. Okay, now 22 in column 6. That has to be made up, as we've worked out before, of at least 4 digits. And the first one being a digit, we know that the digits come at the top. Now it can't be all 7 digits. They add up to 28, so it could be any number from 4 to 6, but it must finish in a black cell. And that means that for this bottom row, no, we could have 7 here and 5 here, or 5 here. In fact, 5 here is a strong possibility with 12, 7, and 5. What we know about 12 is it must begin with at least 2 digits. If that was 7 and 5, then the next couldn't just, okay. What I'm trying to say is, if the first set in this column were just 2 cells long, they would be 7 and 5. In that case, the 7 couldn't be made up of a 7 because it would appear in the same row as another 7. So, although we don't know whether this first group is 2 or 3 digits long, we do know that this cell must be a digit and part of the 7 group, because it's either a 7 on its own or it's part of a 2-digit group. And that means we know that this is black and this is blue and this is indeed a 5. So, well, we don't know which of these is a 7. Actually, we do know that this cell, no, we don't. I was going to say we know this cell can't be black because this can't be a 7, but actually that could be a 7. That couldn't be a 7 because 6 is too little for that to be a 7. So this cell is definitely blue, but we don't yet know whether it's on its own or with 1 or 2 partner cells along the bottom. Now this is a 1 cell on its own, and it's got to therefore be a 3. Because of the 8, we know that's a 5. We can put 2 and 6 up here, and that makes this first one 5 or 1. But look, it begins with a 4, so it can't be 5, it must be 1. That enables us to fix the 6 and 2 there. It must complete the 4 with a 3. That gives us a black cell there. The first 2 columns are now complete, which is nice. Now, row 2 and 3 we've got no clue for, so we don't know whether this cell or this cell is the 2. Down here we have 9, but it could be in 2 or 3 cells. Yeah, we can't really determine anything there. This is 9. That's important. Now, this is a blue cell, so it's a number, but it can't be 5. So down here, 5 must be made up of 2 blue cells. And they could be 3, 2 in that order, or 1, 4 in either order. The 9 here, there's various possibilities, could still be 3, 6, whatever it is down here. And there are other possibilities. So now we've got 17 along here. 17 plus 1 is 18. The totals of 1 to 7 is 28. So we're missing 10. This must only be 3 or can't be 4 cells long even. Because they would have to be, oh no, sorry, it could be 4 cells long. Okay, don't quite know how to resolve that yet. 22 here could either be 3, 1, 4, and 7 in some order, or yes. If this was, because the total of 1 to 7 is 28 and this is 22, the total digits missing from this row are 6. And the only way you can make up a 6 is 1 digit only, or 2 digits, 2 and 4, that's not possible, there's a 2 in the row, 5 and 1, that's not possible, there's a 5 in the row, or 3 digits, 1, 2, 3, that's not possible, there's a 2 in a row. So we now know this is 6 digits long. And this is all one group, so that must be blue as well. For both of this column and row 6, we know that they're the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7, not including 6. How are we going to make further progress? This 8 down here at the bottom of column 4. Could that be 3 cells long? Only if it was 1, 2, 5. And it can't be 1, 2, 5 because a separate group has a 2. So it has to be 2 cells long. It could be 1 and 7, or it could be 2 and 6. I think I'm going to fill in these possibilities just so, because I have established them. Same here, 2, 1, 4 and 3, 1, 4. Now it can't be a 6 in this row because we know that row has no 6s. So in fact, we know this pair is a 1, 7 pair. One of these cells is a 2 and the other is black. We don't know which is which. Now this can't be a 7 because it's in a group that's at least 2 long. So that has to be a 1. This now can't be a 1, obviously. This total makes up 7 along here. So in fact, this one has to be a 2 and a 4 in a blue cell. Now we've got 6 at the bottom. Could still be 1, 2, 3 with 4, 5 above it, or it could be a 2, 4 pair. So if it was 1, 2, 3, this would be 4, 1 or 3. And if it was 6, that would also be 4. So both of those possibilities are still open. Now here that's going to make 9, but we don't know much about that. This is 1, 3 or 4 to make up the row. 12 at the top. It can't now be 2 cells because we've got a 5 in the row. So it has to be 3 cells. That's putting a black one here, and quite importantly, that's putting a 7 in this cell. Now the 12, 17, 24, 3 and 1 are missing. This has to be 2, 4 and 6 in these cells. And the top one can't be a 6, that one can't be a 2. That's the only way it'll work. Now, what have we got for this 19? 3 and 7 can't be a 2, it's got to be 4 and 5. That makes that a 6 and that a 2. Excellent. So, some more progress there. Again, getting numbers in these rows doesn't help all that much. But it does help sometimes, because this cell now can't be the 2 in this column. So we can make that one black. The 2 is going to go in here. And this row has a 17, which we now know must be 4 cells long, because it's got a 2 in it. And it's either going to have 7, 6. I'm not very good at doing this in my head. 7, 5, 4. No, 7, 6, 4, 2. No, that's 19. I'm very sorry. Let's try this again. We've either got 7, 2, 5, 3 or 6, 2, 5, 4. Don't know how to disambiguate those, but we do know this is blue, don't we? So that's very helpful for this column, because now we need a black cell here because we can't have a 4 piece at the bottom. We need a blue cell here because 9 is either 2 or 3 long. Don't know which way round yet, but we've got all the cells coloured except for one of them. We don't know yet whether that is a number or not. Now, 9 here. Maybe we can do some ordinary Sudoku. This has to be 1, 4 or 7. 5, 1, 2. Remember, we can't have a 6. So that's 3, 4 or 7. Where can we make any progress now? 9 here. Can't be 2 and 7. 1, 8's not a possibility because we don't have 8's. But it could be 3, 6 or 5, 4. Yeah, don't know much beyond that. Now, here in this row, 6 can no longer be 1, 2, 3. 6 has to be 4 and 2. So, well done if you saw that coming. And that fixes that as a 4. That fixes that as a 1. We now know that's a 3. We can get rid of 3 as a possibility there. This pair can't be 4, 5. It has to be 3, 6. So now let's look at this 9 up here. This can only be, we still don't know whether it's 2 or 3, so it could be 6, 3 or 1, 3, 5. Those seem to be the possibilities. How about then looking at the 17? We've got 2. If that was a 7, 9 would have 8 more. Couldn't be 2, 6. That would be a 5. If that was a 4, 4, 6, 11 more. Can't be 3, 8. That would be a 5 again. That has to be a 5. So this is now a 5, 3, 1 set. That 3 fixes the 6, 3. That's very neat. 10 plus 7. That can only be a 4 now. 5, 4, 7, 3. We can't have a 6. Must be 1 and 2. And there we go. What a lovely puzzle. That's really very nice. Shall I just colour this square in blue for completeness? There we go. Very nice puzzle. Thank you very much to Cedric for creating that. Bit of a debut there for him, and for sending it. Really enjoyable. Hope you enjoyed that, and hope to see you again soon on Cracking the Cryptic. Bye for now.